Welcome to another episode of the Lone Recruiter Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Clements, and you've joined the $1 Million Mindset Series, which we're going to run in 2026 from January to February in the lead up to the national live in-person tour of Australia. We're going to bring together a number of $1 million billers to the stage so that we can soak up their habits, their mindsets, their attitudes, and hopefully you can apply that to your own desk. So we're going to be hitting Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, Melbourne, late February. You haven't got your tickets already. They are literally selling fast. Today, we are very lucky to be joined by Eliott Iustini over in Perth. Eliott, how are you?
Very well, mate. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. Now, you're going to be one of the panelists, the Q&A panelists when we get to Perth. Really excited about it. And what we want to get into today is just a bit of a snapshot of who you are and some of the things that you've encountered in your career. But for everyone listening at home, let's just give you a bit of a headliner as to who he is. So he's currently a managing consultant at Technical Resources in Perth. You do... what did you say? Supply chain, procurement. You said something else the other day. Project controls. That's sort of recruitment. You are, for the last few years, a $1 million plus biller. So very excited to understand how that works for you. You are known for long-standing client relationships. Your company has done 10,000 plus technical professional placements over their time, which is a lot of deals. The parts that I get excited about are usually not recruitment related. So I want to start with, you're a huge fan of the NBA, the AFL and the F1.
Yes.
I'll give you my favourites. I'm a Lakers fan. I know, I'm hated. I'm a Swans fan, even worse. Any team Oscar Piastri drives for, I'm into.
We're not too dissimilar. I go for the Clippers, but they have severely let me down for the last 15 years, and I've been suggesting a boycott for the last sort of 6 weeks to my mates. So there is a chance I jump to the dark side. I'm an Eagles supporter through and through. I don't mind the Swans, actually, even though the 2005-2006 rivalry sits there. So it's so good. I've got a good mate who's also a diehard Bloods supporter, so it's hard to sort of see him sad. So I can jump on board. And Formula One sort of died off for me a little bit. I'm sort of a bit upset with how they're running it, but I think...
Next year will be different. Next year might be different.
Let's
smaller cars.
Make them smaller. I just like they brought back Portimao. So Portugal's back in 27. So that's a new track that they can bring back in. But that sort of keeps you busy on the day. They had the cricket on in the background before, but I chose to turn it off. So
I'm not up to speed. Can't be good. Can't be good. All right, look, I've got a couple of questions here, and I really want people to, you're obviously successful at what you do. So for us, it's about the mindset behind that. What makes you tick? How do we show up every day to hit those sort of numbers, right? And we joke about the NBA, the AFL, and the F1 because they're on your profile. I think you talk about that, but it's good to know what you enjoy and why you're here as well, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But look, moving more on to more practical things here, like you're known for long-standing relationships. It's spattered right throughout your profile. So I'd like to understand your mindset that at your desk, really, that helps you build trust quickly and deeply.
Oh, I think the main way is just a real genuine approach to relationships. I think that goes beyond work, and I think it's an organic perspective on work relationships. But I suppose every time that you are successful or helping someone in a recruitment field, whether it be your client who's hiring or your client who's looking for a role, you really help them solve an issue which they have, and they're really grateful for that. If you do it with a really genuine approach, that relationship can be developed quite quickly. Obviously, with success in placement, there is more relationship that's built, but I think over time, persistence and care really sort of sets you apart, and I think that's where relationships really stand. And look, I think the ethos of the business that I work for, Tech Resources, who have been around for 35 years and have gone through ups and downs of cycles of good and bad mining booms, is a testament of that. And I've been taught that way. And I think the one thing that we really sort of harp on about is family and relationships. And if you can do those things well, then naturally the placements will come and your ability to help people will be there. But I think, it's just more about how well you're going to be invested in those relationships in particular.
Totally, don't burn them, right? Just think big picture, think long term.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you might not get a win today, but in 6 months' time, you'll be rewarded for doing
Yep.
all the right things. And I think it's just a timing game, and particularly in the recruitment environment, we see people don't last much longer than sort of 18 months. I think the stats say, but I think that's because you almost need to get through the persistence of the first 18 months, and then the fruit really sort of comes to the
Yep.
tree. 2, 3,
Mm.
4 years in, and once a tree is fruiting, it fruits year on year out. And
Hmm.
yes, some years
That's
might
it.
be than others, and some might be not so good. But something we've been saying in the WA market for a long time is make hay while the sun's shining.
Mm.
It's exactly that
Very,
way.
very cyclical market over there. I'm very well aware of it.
It is, it is. But you
Yeah,
ride the waves.
you do. Now you've been recruiting for almost how long? 10 years now? Is that what you were saying before?
I'll be, or is it 8 or 9 years next year? I think it's 9 years next year and 10 years in 27. So
Amazing. And to
yeah.
to be now a $1 million biller for the last few years, are you able to point to anything in particular? Because once you've hit it, it seems like you've stayed there, and that means it's not a fluke, right? So I wonder, is it the relationships that you talked about, bearing more fruit, or is there something do you recognise or something that you can point to say this was the changer for me?
Oh, look, I mean, I'll go back to the business. I think you need a really good vehicle to drive you along the way, and technical resources is fantastic in the way that they operate, and that's why they have been a long-standing business in the market for a long time. And we work in a niche field in the technical mining engineering white collar space. But particularly for myself, I think it's more just about, like I said, doing the right things year on year out. Sometimes days in recruitment can feel a bit monotonous, but the more you do the right activity and best practice, you'll reach those goals. But it goes back to your first question about how do you build those deep-seated relationships. And I've got clients who've worked across companies like Fortescue for 10 years that go to MinRes, who then go to different companies that consistently reach out to us and help well, myself in particular, and go, look, I need these people. And without those pre-existing relationships, they could go to anyone. So it's just about the reputation you have and the relationships you've built, and repeat business. I don't think it's so much about drumming up new business all the time. It's getting the most out of your clients that you can.
I love it. Have you had any setbacks in your career that have ended up being a major turning point for you?
Beth sent me this question, and I had a good read of it because I mean, everyone sort of goes, so what's the most catastrophic thing that's happened to you? And it's like, I wouldn't actually say there's anything work related that's really sort of driven home and gone, I've got to change this, or I've got to rewire my entire system. But I think it's all the small, minute challenges you deal with week in, week out that you go, all right, it's a bit of a scar tissue. You'll suffer there, and then next time it happens, you won't do it again. And if you're not learning from your mistakes or from scenarios you've been put in, then that's when you're going to fail. And I just think it's like a death by 1,000 cuts, and you sort of learn from those. But
Success by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, exactly right. Success by 1,000 cuts. No, look, it's just more about learning. I think it's falling down and standing back up again. Look, I recently have been renovating a house, and I've been sort of scared to drill into the walls. I'm not that sort of person who climb, but the other day I was like, the only way I'm going to figure out how to do this is by making a huge mistake and then going, all right, let's clean it up. And so I've done that, and you sort of slowly get more proficient in what you're doing. Nothing catastrophic.
I love it. No, it's a perfect answer. Because as you say, a lot of people say, "Oh, there was this big moment, and this is my turning point." If TikTok or Instagram was to be believed, you'd think that everyone has a catastrophic moment in their life, and all of a sudden, the other side it was sunshine and roses. But I like that success by 1,000 cuts.
Sorry, I don't
I'm
have
gonna use
anything
that.
too graphic.
No, well, if anyone's watching this video, there is a belt, a title belt behind you, right underneath the television. Tell me about this. Now, this is talk about getting knocked down and getting back up again. What is that belt? What is that?
So that's a Perth Corporate Rumble belt. So Glenn Austin's going to be stoked that he's getting a shout out in this video somehow. But there's a Perth charity that they do like a corporate rumble every year, and you basically do an 8-week training camp and then fight someone with a similar skill set to you. And 4 weeks into a training camp, I got punched in the nose pretty badly and had to go to ED and had surgery, and essentially they were like, don't fight in 4 weeks time. And I was like, I've done so much work to get here, and I was like, I'm going to do it. So ended up fighting, beat the guy and won. And it was a really rewarding sort of situation, but it just shows persistence, hard work, and the right sort of people around you really help. And that was also sponsored by Tech Resources. So I had my bosses and the leaders in our business in my corner supporting me. So I suppose that shows the foundations of where I've come from and the relationships that I have with people I work with, which makes it so much easier to do business and go to work every day, really.
Resilience, another word for resilience could be stubbornness, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Where are you on the spectrum of resilience to stubbornness? Is it a combination? Is it just pure stubbornness? What is it?
I wish my girlfriend was in the room, mate. She'd give you a really good answer about that one. I'm pretty dead to rights and set in my way. Slowly softening up, I like to think. But yeah, I think you've got to have some, confidence around what your perception is right, and then obviously listening to others around you when you need a bit of advice. So yeah, a little bit stubborn.
I just want to end with one around energy. We talk about in this podcast a lot about preserving your energy or understanding it, being aware of it, energy awareness, we call it. How do you manage your energy? Day in, day out, you got candidates, contractors, clients, they all need something from you at once. How do you how do you best manage your energy levels at the desk?
I like to pace a lot.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
A lot of walking around the office, taking phone calls, or just taking a walk outside. But no, look, I think working with good people is not a tasking piece of work. If you're talking to good clients and people that you've got good relationships with, who are energetic and going to give you time, can be quite positive for your for your, how do you describe it, for your own energy. Like, they give you energy. So like I said, I work in an environment where I've got some really great leaders who are energetic beings who, are excited to come to work. And I've got some really excited hiring managers who want to hire good people and, deliver good projects. So when you get invested in that, it sounds really cliche, you just can get up and go. And then I suppose enjoying what you do is important, but then there's balance in life as well. Yes, take work seriously and really try and succeed and push forward, but then have that balance outside of work. I've got a really great support network with friends and family. Like you said, I'm a pretty big nuffy when it comes to watching sport and doing things outside of work. And you just find a bit of release in different environments. I think that's the key.
Absolutely, mate. Well, look, I'm going to stop us there because there's so much more I want to unpack. We're going to save that for when we meet up in Perth. So, mate, appreciate you jumping on. You've given us a good 10 plus minutes of your time. That is a lot of time in recruitment because time is money. So thank you so much for jumping on.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I gave you a good insight into who I am and what the mindset of $1 million biller looks like.
Oh, I love it, mate. I love it. For everyone at home, like, share, subscribe. It helps us grow. Very few tickets left. By the time this airs, there may not be any tickets left. So if you are listening, please go and follow the links to your local city and just see if there's anything left. But like, share, subscribe. Helps us grow. As always, have an amazing day and may all your deals come true.